Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. Thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, the 1st of April 2025. The market closed yesterday down 0.5%, and it has literally just opened, and there has been no movement just yet. So there you can see 000. So just waiting for that to update. As things stand, we are. We have 3 years completed of this financial independence journey, as is fairly obvious from the curve here, things have fallen a little bit more compared to where they were last week. So having a look at the numbers on the right here, current market value 81.38. We currently have 266 shares almost, worth roughly 21,600, and that gives us a return on investment of about 15.5%, which is roughly half the return that we had at one point in time. When we were up at the top of this peak, our return on investment was slightly over 30%. But nevertheless, 15.5%, not too shabby for 3 years of a FI journey. The average purchase price, as you can see here, £70.41 almost. I think last time we saw a rise of 7 pence, so I'm going to estimate that that will go to £70.48 this morning. 70.48 is my prediction. I'm just going to scribble that down somewhere so that whenever I do the investment we'll be able to check it. Right, let's get straight on and have a look at the notifications, but beforehand let me just draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
Oh.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. Can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up, how'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, so as you can see there is an affiliate link in the description for Monzo. There's also one for Smarty Mobile, and that would be fantastic if anybody chooses to use either of those to sign up. Back to the notifications, let's have a look-see. Nvidia slides 3.3%, extending recent losses and closing in on a $2.5 trillion market cap. Biggest stocks before earnings: Microvast, Red Cat, Gorilla Technology Group, Progress Software, Spire Global, Ubisoft, I'm not sure how you say that, down 12.5% as sentiment sours following Friday's spin-off announcement. I'm not sure what that was. CoreWeave down 9% as the Nvidia-backed cloud firm descends after lackluster Nasdaq debut. That sounds as though that's some sort of a cloud storage offering. If that's the case, that will be in competition with Microsoft for their OneDrive, Google Drive, and I'm sure there are umpteen others as well. Aston Martin surges 12.5% following a £125 million funding boost led by executive chair. That's interesting. It's quite a move on that one. And a move in the opposite direction to what appears to be the trend. Okay, and that brings us then to our previous purchase. So our last purchase was 80 at a price of 83.61. Let's see what we've fallen to now again. So it's 82.34 almost, but I think it was lower than that. Obviously, as you can see here, market currently up. Just over 1%, in fact almost 1.5% so far, so that could go either direction, I would suggest, but anyway, that's where it's at right now. Let's get on and do this week's investment. If you watch the channel, you know that each week I put £120 of the theoretical portfolio funds into the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund. We are using the Trading 212 practice platform, and that's going to buy us roughly 1.45 shares at current market value. Let's send it through. So it's a market buy. We're not putting any limits, restrictions or conditions on the purchase. It will execute at whatever the current fair price is, and no commission, of course. This is one of the things that I like about Trading 212. There's no good reason to hold off on investing or making trades because of commission rates, whereas on some other platforms or providers you may be charged not insignificant fees for every trade. Let's send it. We have sent it, executed. We got 1.45 shares at 82.35.5, and the average purchase price has risen to 70.47.5, just about. So my prediction 70.48 was slightly out by about a penny or half a penny, I suppose, but not too bad all in all. So let's just have a final look at the various figures. Current market value 82.34. Market up 1.5% so far today after significant falls recently. So really all this is doing is putting back some of the value that had previously been lost. Current portfolio is sitting with 267 shares and a value of 22,018. Current return on investment, adding in obviously the growth this morning, 16.8%. Average purchase price 70.47, And in terms of the 52-week range, because there's no point in looking at the days range, it's much too early in the day. But in terms of the 52-week range, we are kind of still, I would say, in the bottom third of where the market has been in the last 52 rolling weeks. It's probably fair to say that most analysts would consider that a buy signal, but as has been said in the past, and I'll repeat again, the most important thing is time in the market rather than timing the market, because timing the market is quite frankly impossible. So really all you can do is invest consistently and on an ongoing basis, and that's really what I'm trying to demonstrate in this 8-year financial independence experiment. Actually, I hadn't noticed this before, and I don't know if this is new, but I thought I would just draw your attention to this when it caught my eye there. So here is the asset allocation, the top 10 holdings, and given that the only thing that we're invested in is the S&P 500, this should be representative of what's in that. So as you can see, Apple in and of itself represents virtually 8% of the whole thing. Nvidia is significant as well at over 6.5%. Microsoft also over 6%. Amazon then a bit less significant at 4%. Alphabet, which is kind of Google and co, 4%. And then we get into the likes of Meta, 2.5%. Now I'm surprised to see Tesla at 2.2%. I had the impression that it was more significant than that, although to be honest I'm relieved that it's not, because I don't have particular faith, in fact I have very little faith in electric vehicles as a viable technology, at least for the midterm. Perhaps in the long term, as battery technology improves and infrastructure is developed, maybe. But in the midterm, I don't particularly rate them. I can't go any lower. I'm rolling the wheel, but that's as far as it's taking me down. So the remaining companies there: Broadcom 2%, Berkshire Hathaway, that's Warren Buffett's company, 1.66%, and JP Morgan Chase, the bank, 1.3%. So that's the top 10 in the S&P 500, just to give you a bit of an idea of what makes up the main components of the investment. So with that said, guys, it is time for me to bring this to a close. I would like to thank you for watching if you have been. I would invite you to consider following the journey by hitting the subscribe button, and if you particularly enjoyed this video, why not give it a thumbs up. I will be back as always next week with more, but in the meantime, have a great end to your Tuesday, and catch you next week. Thanks for watching.